Alright, what's up guys? We have another new deck profile courtesy of Dual Overload. Brand new card, the Tenyi Spirit Saharasa. Really good card. Fixes a lot of problems with the deck. Gives it a little more of an approach going first. It gives the deck a lot more protection, which I like quite a bit. But we'll talk about that as we get there. But I built this deck more so to go first. Tenyis can always go second because it has a very good built-in going second sort of like in archetype going second strategy. But if you build it to go first, there are certain cards that just make it virtually unstoppable and almost unfair. But let's get started. We play 3 copies of Tenyi Spirit Edhara. This card is really good. It's a tuner. It's an earth tuner, so you can Cherry Beast if you really wanted to, but you'd have to change the build a little bit. But basically all of the Tenyis have the same effect. If you control no effect monsters, you can special summon this card from your hands for free. And then on top of that, the second effect, you can banish them from the graveyard to do something, but you have to control a non-effect to do it. So in this particular one, you can banish this from the graveyard and you control a non-effect monster in order to get back another Tenyi monster from your banished pile. So this one's good because it gives you free advantage, one of the best. We play 3 copies also of Vishuddha. This one you can banish to bounce, and of course it has a special summon effect. Play 3 copies of Ashuna. This one is another one that's very good. Basically, if you control a non-effect, you can banish this from the graveyard and then special summon from your deck a Tenyi monster, which is super good because it's basically a +1. 3 copies of Shathana. This one, when a Tenyi monster or a non-effect monster is destroyed, you can special summon. You can banish this, special summon the monster back, and then pop a card your opponent controls. 3 Maputra. This basically gives them targeting protection, and 2 Nahata, which during battle gives them 1500 attack when a non-effect monster is battling with an effect or with any other monster. Then we play 2 copies of Mare. It's definitely always at 2 for consistency. You don't mind seeing it in your hand. You don't want to play it at 3 because 3 is just like too much. You don't want to see it too. You don't ever want to see multiples in your hand, but you don't mind opening with Mare and like 2 Tenyi monsters, like perfect, or opening with Mare with 2 Tenyi monsters and like a vessel. Like we want to keep them in there. Plus we're playing Pot of Extravagance, so you definitely don't want to banish it. But yeah, definitely 2 Mares. Then we play 3 copies of Ash Blossom Joy Springs. This deck is very heavy on hand traps. I have a non-hand trap version on my channel. Definitely, it's gonna. I mean, just if you look on there, it'll be on there. But this one plays a lot of hand traps because the beautiful thing about Tenyis is that they don't make the craziest boards, but they are very consistent in what they do, and that's something that really stands out about the deck is that it's just so consistent. You get to do the same thing every single turn. So you can fill the rest of the space. Like, even if you play 3 of every single Tenyi card that's available, you still have so much space in your deck to play, just use on other stuff. So in this case, I'm going to play a lot of hand traps because they interrupt your opponent from doing anything. So 3 Ash Blossoms, 3 Ogres, 3 DD Crows. I think it's a very good card in the current meta. Just because, they target something in the graveyard, special summon, you interrupt it. They send something like... They send like off Keldeo Chick. They send like the I forget the name of the card, but they send the card for Keldeo Chick. You banish it. It's like very beneficial for that. They target something with Tiger. You banish it. There's a lot of different decks where this actually comes in handy quite a bit. We play 3 copies of Vanity's Fiend. This card is intense. Very good in the deck because again you're going first, and you can make a board of like Crusadia Avermax. The Link 3 Tenyi. You can make a board of like Crusadia Avermax, the Link 3 Tenyi, and I forget the other, like a Berserker of the Tenyi, and then afterwards just tribute summon one of your extra monsters, and then just normal summon this, and they basically have no outs and they have to scoop. It's really cool. We play 3 copies of Vessel, one of the best cards in the deck. You get to send a worm from your deck to the graveyard. So that's effect number 1, and then if you control a non-effect, you can special summon. You can actually add another Tenyi monster to your hand. So you send a worm, and if you control a non-effect, you can add Tenyi, which is really good. 3 copies of Pot of Desires, and one of the best cards in the deck, Pot of Extravagance. This lets you put back all of the little guys, all of the monks back in your deck, and basically you get to draw 2 cards. It's really cool. And then we play 3 copies of the Infinite Impermanence. This is one of the better hand traps too, because you can set it too, if anything. If you go first, you can just set it and then interrupt their columns, which is really good. So definitely Infinite Impermanence is pretty crazy. Now for the extra deck, you play 1 of the new monster. This card's awesome. It fixes so many problems in the deck and allows it to go first a little easier. So its first effect is if you control non-effect monsters, your opponent can't attack effect monsters on your side of the field, and they can't target cards on the field. Can't target cards on the field at all, which is really good. But yeah, this card's insanely broken. It prevents you from it basically, if you summon this in Vanity's Fiend, they can't even target Vanity's Fiend. You just leave a non-effect monster on the field, they can only attack the non-effect monster. So you can actually make like this, plus this, and then summon a Vanity's Fiend, like somewhere around here. So basically it'd be right here. But you can summon like this, plus this, and a Vanity's Fiend, and they can't target the Vanity's Fiend. The only thing they can target is this, and this thing's huge. So it's like a really cool little lock that you can create. On top of that, you can, during either player's turn, target a monster your opponent controls, an effect monster, and then make basically a clone, a token of that monster with that monster's attack. Super good. Then we play 1 copy of Berserker of the Tenyi. Play 2 copies of Shaman. When you're main playmakers, you gotta play 2 if you're playing it pure. 3 copies of Monk of the Tenyi. 1 copy of IP Masquerena. Really, really cool card, just all around. You can make a lot of different things with IP, but it gives it basically protection. Mech Knight Crusadia Avermax. 1 copy of Appaloosa. 1 copy of Linkuriboh. This is basically for the tokens. Sometimes the tokens off of Mare, you can either make a Linkuriboh with them, or you can make a IP with the tokens, and then you can go into Berserker. It just basically helps that quickly. Berserker of the Tenyi, which is really good because it lets you banish attack twice, all types of stuff like that. 1 copy of Boxia. 1 copy of Tornado Dragon, and Abyss Dweller, probably the best rank 4 in the game right now. But that is basically it. I have combos on the channel if you're looking for that sort of thing. I have tons of the Tenyi combos. I've done a lot of different Tenyi videos, and the great thing about Tenyis is that they never really get hit on the ban list. So even videos from 3-4 months ago are still just as relevant today, because let's face it, they're never going to get hit because they're not outrageously broken, but they are very, very good if you know what you're doing with them. But thank you for watching.